I started a clothing brand when I was 17, 18 years old. I hit a fork in the road. My mind with the business product that was taking off was transfer work. They enabled us to drop the MOQ on like everything we were doing. You know, I've only got one pot of money. That's where the game changes. See, this is what I mean. You guys are moving fast with this development. It will be a smoother print, 100%. My name is Darren. I am director, owner of Squeezed Orange Print Shop.
Molly, where are we going? We are going to film somewhere slightly different today. We're not obviously at Stahls, so we're currently on our way to the Squeezed Orange workshop, where we're going to be filming the first ever More Than a Heat Press video documentary at Squeezed Orange. Hello. How are you?
Filming ready?
Oh yeah, obviously. You all right? How's it going?
Yes.
And then clip that out my back pocket or whatever.
Damn, this is... Oh, that's probably really loud, wasn't it?
Damn! Okay.
I can't believe how good it looks in here. It's insane.
Okay. Are we on? Are we recording?
Yes,
We're rolling.
Hello, Darren.
Hi.
How are you?
Cold.
Welcome to More Than a Heat Press.
I keep looking away from the camera. It's hard, isn't it?
It's really hard.
I started a clothing brand called ATW Clothing back when I was 17, 18 years old. I suppose for like time context, I'm like 33 now, so a few
Long
years
time.
back. Yeah, feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, I started my own clothing brand. Chinese heat press, Chinese vinyl cutter, some vinyl, and yeah, started pressing through the loom shirts, pulling the labels out, doing all of that. And then over the years, it just progressed and progressed into screen printing and embroidery, and yeah, just sort of a very, very slow process of like machine at a time. Fast forward a few years from that, people kept coming up to me and asking who done my prints, who done my embroidery on the beanies, and obviously we done it all in-house. So that's when I started branching out and taking on orders from other customers. It was a very natural thing of, oh, we could do this for other people, and that's what we done.
So let's go back a little bit to before you were printing. You had a bit of an interesting career in a sport, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was another life. I feel like I've lived 3 lives already. So yeah, I come out of school, basically was a professional freestyle jet skier. And I know it means nothing to most people. It's not that much of a well-known sport in this country. In America, Australia, it's a much, much bigger sport. And that's what I was doing. Like pro amateur competitions, British championships, all sorts of things. And then was that again progressed on. And then I started like building jet ski parts. And at one point built my own actual jet ski. We built a hull, like me and my dad. Yeah,
That's wild.
a whole nother life, yeah. And then at one point, I don't know whether it's official or unofficial, I kind of claim it. I was one of the first people to backflip like a 900cc jet ski, I believe, in like the British Championship. So yeah, there was that. I mean, there's other people doing it as much, like, you know, in the pro competitions, they were doing crazy stuff. So it was from that is where I started my brand. So jet skiing, all right, sponsors, things like that being helped out. It would never, you know, it never paid the bills. It was never a full-time business. I had like a little parts company going on the side of that. So I was like selling my own jet ski parts and tried to get into the e-commerce sales and stuff back then. Then I started to develop a clothing brand. It was called ATW, which stood for like against the world, and it was very much like me against the world competition. In a way, kind of like sponsor myself and my like jet ski career. It was almost like a side hustle if I could generate some income with my own shirts, print my own team shirts, print the logos on for my sponsors and things like that. So that's where it originally come from. And then it just organically grew into, oh, wait a minute, I could like make my own logos and print them and now sell these. And yeah, it just sort of grew one shirt at a time, literally one shirt at a time.
And then how did that grow?
Very slowly. So I would sell them to friends, family, anyone that showed an interest, then built a website and then tried to start selling them online, and then it took off a bit more. And then that was really at the time when the conception of Instagram. So Instagram just launched. Downloaded the app, got on there, and that was at the time you could have loads of hashtags and like really, you know, get like loads of like, yeah. So we were doing that, and I keep saying we, like I was doing that, just built up that Instagram page. When I then come to, I say, sell the company as such, like exit, it was like 50 or K, 100K on Facebook followers. So we built up a lot of followers, which then were converting, but it was slow. And we were early to Instagram. You know, there's brands everywhere. You know, everyone's on Instagram trying to push the product. So we were like quite early and lucky in that.
When did you first learn what heat printing and what screen printing was? Because jet ski to apparel decorator is two very different things.
Yeah, so I've been a very hands-on person. I've always been someone that will take something apart, rebuild it, or try and make it better. When I knew, I was like, oh, I could like print some shirts. It was straight to YouTube, like how to do it. And the easiest way I found was heat printing. You know, there's a lot of, there wasn't much screen print information out there. There was a few guys screen printing, obviously, but it looked like a lot of, you know, big carousels and this, that, the other. Heat printing was the easiest option, sort of lowest cost of entry, if you like. And that's what I went down, really.
So what inspired you to start Squeezed Orange after that journey?
So the Squeezed Orange, they were like a crossover. So I was still running ATW when Squeezed Orange started. Like I was still running ATW for a few years while we were in Squeezed Orange on the side. So that was how Squeezed Orange kind of built up organically, because I was still out heavily involved with ATW, still printing for ATW, and more people will come into ATW as a brand saying, hey, love your pretty embroideries and stuff on beanies. Who does them for you? And instead of saying like, oh, myself, I was like, oh, we'll use this company Squeezed Orange. And Squeezed Orange was always like behind the scenes and like no one knew anything about it. And it was like a private Instagram account. And that's why it's called Squeezed Orange, because it was actually a name that my dad just made up one day. It was like, why don't you call it Squeezed Orange? Something completely random, it would be funny. And it stuck. Then behind the scenes, we were printing for other people that didn't know that we were printing. And obviously, like, now it's all, I say, come out. Like, people know it's me.
It's headline news.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that was it. We kind of had like, Squeezed Orange had like a customer base already. This wasn't an overnight success. I've been doing this for years already, and it was saying yes to the opportunities as they come up. People go, oh, I really like these beanies, like, can you do them? And then it would be like, oh, my friend, he's got a YouTube channel, like, he's seen my beanies. And it was very much, that was how it went. I was just printing for friends, and then it just grew and grew and grew. The first probably, I want to say like 4 years or something crazy. Like, Squeezed Orange never had a website, never had an Instagram. It was, so when people look on the Instagram now, they're like, but you only started in 2018 or whenever I started that Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, but we were going secretly for years.
So you started ATW when you were 18?
Yeah, 17,
and you're
18.
33 now, 15 years.
Yeah, it's a long time to be printing T-shirts, isn't it?
Wonder how many T-shirts you printed in 15 years.
A lot.
Do you remember the first T-shirt you ever printed?
Yeah, it was a black Fruit of the Loom T-shirt with a white ATW logo centre chest.
Have you still got it?
No.
Oh, you didn't frame it?
No. What I did frame was, when I first got into screen printing, I made a screen up, little ATW screen. I've got that. That's down at the other unit, covered in dust. One day it might go on the
fade
wall.
Away.
I'm not that sentimental, but yeah, since then, saying that though, so when I first got into screen print, I made that screen and we didn't have a conveyor belt. And we had to do like 250 hoodies. And it like, I want to say took a week, you know, and now I look back going like, God, what was I doing? Like, what happened? But they were the things that we done to learn.
How long does 250 hoodies take you now?
A couple of hours, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not a week, no.
So while we're on the topic of challenges you faced and lessons you've learned, what would you say the biggest challenges that you've faced when starting a business?
Oh, God. There's two sides to this business. One is the business of the business, pricing, money, how to connect with your garment suppliers, pricing on your supplies, and like actually running a business. And mainly with that, I think the trickiest part to work out is pricing. How do you price your work when you Google it, there's not really much out there. So you're sort of like going, oh, well, do I charge £10 a t-shirt? Do I charge £15? You're like, what about, where am I expensive? Where am I not? And you start going around and you quickly find on the internet, there's probably not that much help. And the reason I say it is because I get a lot of DMs now, or a lot of conversations I have now, even with some of the bigger shops behind the scenes where I say we're friends. I think we're friends, you know, and we do talk about pricing. You know, we say, oh, what are you charging for an embroidery? And we're sort of like, oh, God, I'm a bit shit. Oh, I'm a bit too expensive. And we're sort of like adjusting off each other. But when you're new, you don't have that community. From the office side of things is obviously the biggest hurdle is what you're actually going to charge. And then obviously if you bring that then into the print shop, so you've charged out, got the job, great, bought your stock, got your supplies, then like the print shop challenges start, they're never ending. They're still never ending now. You know, we're still testing stuff now. We still get things wrong every day. When that's with embroidery, screen print, transfers, you know, no matter what one you're printing is, you need to work out how you're going to print it.
Quality is something you pride yourself on.
Yeah.
But what would you say some other core values of your business are?
So recently, I've been using the phrase, we're not a print shop, we're a customer service shop. And that's what I've been saying to us here as a team. I do try and put the emails and put the customer first now. Try and get back to emails like as quick quote forms I try and reply to in 10 minutes. You know, I just try, and I hope this video doesn't go viral now. Everyone's going to be spamming, being like, let's see if he actually replies.
He hasn't replied. It's been a day.
Yeah, they'd be testing it. All these other print shops would be like, right, they'd be spamming up my inbox. So yeah, but no, we do try and go back, and I try and do like the customer service thing of like, I just reply. The feeling I get from that when I just simply reply to an email is, oh my God, thanks so much for the reply. And you're like, damn, well, if print shop, you know, some guys, they might take 3 days to reply. We've already come back. Within 3 days, we could have the job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I see it in my head, and I'm sort of giving away my tricks now, I guess. But like, that's how I think, is like, if I can just get back to them in their inbox first, but not just back in their inbox of like, hey, I'll get back to you soon, like actually with a reply. Like, I've read your email, I've understood it, and I've replied, and this takes time. I spend a lot of hours now a day just doing that, just doing the admin. Saturday morning, you know, I'll reply. I'll schedule it to reply Monday if it's on a Sunday. You know, like, you know, we're in an industry where, as much as I hate it, everyone leaves us to the last thing. If we're working now with corporate clients and they've got big events, they know they've got these big events because they've been in the calendar for 6 months. Oh, I forgot to order the hats. Right, it's 2 days before the event. They're hitting us up like, we need these hats Friday. And you're like, damn, you know, so if we're not quick getting back the emails, like, we're going to lose some of this work. Sometimes it's just not possible to do them jobs, but we try our best. You know, I had one, I think Monday, you know, it was a thing, urgent, need a phone call, like, need to get some stuff printed, and they needed it like within 24 hours. It was like, can you call me? We couldn't do the job. I knew we couldn't do the job, but I rang them anyway. Just said, look, we can't do that tomorrow for you, unfortunately, like, sorry, but you've now got my number, here's my name, etc. Save my thing. Anything else, just WhatsApp me, da-da-da-da-da. Off the back of that, we've had like 2 more jobs anyway. You can always try and get something out of it, even if it's just a contact. So like, the business now comes from that word of mouth and just that connection and the network. Like, that's it. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of energy. It really does. You know, it sits up there, and I can be up there on the emails, on the phones for best part of the morning and early afternoon, and you come down, you're like, you've done nothing but like try and sell, I suppose. Ping ideas backwards and forward. They may be new, or they've seen us do something and they go, oh, I want this logo 3D, and you sort of have to go back and then go like, I can't really do that one 3D, but we could do X, Y, Z. Bit of hand holding to get them through, but also to get them product that I know that we can deliver, that I'm excited about. I don't want to just go, oh, their logo, but like the text is, oh, it's all right, we'll do it anyway, and it'll look a bit rough. I always go back and go, look, the text isn't going to be right. So I really sort of go through it.
But that right there is another reason why everybody comes to you and trusts you to do the job, because they know that you're passionate about it, you're excellent at it, and you will do everything you can to make sure the product looks what you would want to receive, not just what they've asked for. You're the printer, you're the person that knows the machines, knows the product, whereas they don't.
No, exactly.
So they need you to do that for them.
Yeah, because we're also quite heavy on the social media, so we do post a lot of stuff on the stories. So before I post it on the stories, because again, experience, this has happened before, where I've posted something and then the client's replied and been like, done it the wrong colour, mate. And I'm like, whoops. You know, like something as drastic as that. Or like they look and go, oh, is that my, oh, I didn't think it would look like that. We always say, look, send in one extra of the garment, whatever it may be, whether it's a hat, hoodie, whatever we're doing, and we'll then run one of the actual garment. I don't want to ruin all your garments. You know, if you've sent me 150 hats and you're trusting me with them hats, I don't want to just deliver them back. That's what would give me a sleepless night. That is, for me, absolute worst case scenario. I know this takes time, but I always say, look, it's going to take an extra day, but I'm going to send you a photo. Most of them get back to us really quick. Thumbs up, we run the job, it's fine. Sometimes, and it has caught more than enough jobs where they've gone, oh, wait a minute, I've just sent it to client. They want to change it. Oh, can we? And then we go, right, okay, we'll take it off the schedule, move on with the next job, and we figure that one out behind the scenes. And that happens a lot. You know, that other print shop comes back and goes, fucking hell, like, we caught it there. Thank you very much for, like, catching it. And there's been the odd one slip through. There has been the odd one slip through, and we've had to fix it. but...
Mistakes happen.
They do happen, yeah.
Let's talk about products for a little bit. You used to have a very big screen print press in here, didn't you?
Yeah, it's opened up a bit, didn't it?
Well,
say that. Yeah, they've got just replaced one thing for another, yeah.
Do you still have it?
Yeah.
Do you still screen print?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 50-50 now, so...
When did you make the decision to remove the screen carousel and replace it with more heat presses and more embroidery machines?
I hit a fork in the road in my mind with the business. How do I grow? You know, I've only got one pot of money. Product that was taken off was transfer work. So now we do a lot of transfers. They enabled us to drop the MOQ on like everything we were doing. We turned away a lot of work with screen, and I'm sure other screen print shops may do this. You know, you turn away a lot of work where your client is emailing you with some really nice artwork, but it's 14 colour. And it's like, I want 12 shirts, we're a new brand. And you go, look, for years we were turning these away, but now we can just be like, there's this option. How can I stop turning away this business, which was nearly every other email coming in, because it's few and far between that someone's going to order 50 plus shirts. We started testing the transfer stuff, and then it was like, okay, yeah, we can do this. That's also come a long way. We can do some really, really good stuff with it. I'd have to say the prints, you know, I know there's always a big debate about traditional screen printers that are like, transfer, you know, it's this, but it's a great addition to the shop.
So in your opinion, as a professional screen printer and a professional heat printer, would you say that there's much difference in quality between original screen print and screen print transfers?
That's where the game changes. See, this is what I mean, you guys are moving fast with this development, because it's really hard to tell the difference. You know, you can do a real nice plastisol transfer, like a white plastisol transfer print. The transfer will 99% of the time look better. It will be a smoother print, 100%. What do we use the most? So you've got Ultra Colour and Ultra Colour Max. We vary when we use them. Prefer the hot pills, obviously. They speed up the job. We like the Ultra Colour and they print really nice on dark shirts. Actually, coming back to your other point, we've put photos on Instagram. And I mean, there's even public comments on some of them, but we also get DMs like, is this screen print or transfer? And it's
people
like other
can't
shops.
Tell the difference.
So there you go. So if there's any shop out there going, yeah, you can tell the difference. Yeah, you might be able to in person, but actually on that photo, like, there's evidence there that they don't know how we're printing this. They're going like, is that screen print? Because they know it's screen print, but then is it so it looks the same.
Do you think that transfers meet your and your customers' expectations of that quality?
Yeah, yes, they do. But what I will say is to anyone out there that's like, buying transfers is a bit like the blank garment. The transfer does make the difference. I've tested a few. Some measure up, some don't. You just got to do your research, yeah.
And which ones are you currently using?
Well, yours.
What are you most proud of your journey so far with Squeezed Orange and ATW when you look back?
I don't really look back. Sounds so corny, that, doesn't it? God, I sound like right Instagram, like, I wake up at 5. I eat nothing but broccoli. I run 30k and then I embroider shirts all day. No, I don't do that. I don't do none of that. I drag myself out of bed at 5:45. I moan all morning. I get into work I used to get into work at like 7:30, but now like with the traffic, it's just getting later and later. So yeah, I get in for about 8 a.m. Emails, phone calls, voice notes, WhatsApps all morning. They're usually in here at like sort of 8. They'll start or continue yesterday's tasks. So I know that's going on. So stuff is being printed. And then, yeah, depending how quick I get through the admin, any meetings, making it sound like I'm important. But yeah, by the time I get back to the emails and stuff like that, a lot of digitising. We do a lot of digitising work. So I'll sit there, do a lot of digitising, which is great. I love that. And then, yeah, try and get down there as early as I can, 9:30, 10. And then I'll start running the embroidery machines.
Where does your new arm to the business, if you will, your content, where does that come into it? Because you've added that as a service now, right?
Yeah. So we've got Squeezed Orange Studios.
How did that come about?
People get asking me for photos, so I thought, all right, I'll charge you for them. do you know what? In a real blunt, funny tone, yeah, that's what happened. You know, that this is where most of these services that we offer come from, like the digitising. People kept going, oh, who does your digitising? I was like, well, I do. Oh, could you do a logo for me? And it's like, bloody hell, this is now a service, and it's great. And I love it. It's great. It's a skill that I've been doing anyway behind the scenes. You can actually sell it. All my businesses have come. I say all my businesses like I'm a Richard Branson over here. Yeah. Like the business, how the businesses have just evolved is BTW morphed into Squeezed Orange through I was doing something that I was passionate about. Kind of got good at it somehow along the way. Photography, I've had cameras forever. You know, I was always the kid with like a video camera, like borrowed my dad's video camera and made little BMX videos or jet ski videos over the skate park. Like that was us. So yeah, as I evolved the business, I thought, great, I've got to post photos on Instagram. I'm going to use my camera. I'm going to take the photos, and then obviously over the years evolved. And then I was like, oh, I want a flat lay in a studio. So I made a temporary studio down at our other unit and started doing the flat lay photos. And I was just doing this for years. I would just go, this is a cool garment. This needs to go on the Squeezed Orange Instagram. I'm going to take photos. Years and years and years later is now, oh, them studio shots are really cool. Can you get some? And then it just morphs into, now we have people send us garments that we haven't even printed just for Squeezed Orange Studio. So they're sending stuff like one of everything of their collection. We'll shoot it in the studio, edit the images. Obviously, we don't post these photos to Squeezed Orange because it's not our work. But like, there's photos out there that are now just shot in our studio. And that's where it come from.
That's mental.
Yeah.
If a customer comes to you and says they've got a job of 1,000 hoodies for you,
yeah,
how do you go about managing that? How do you handle it?
So key, number one, is payment first. His invoice goes and we get some payment. We don't do anything without payment. Mock-ups, get them, sign them off, we'll order the stock and arrange getting that. And if it's 1,000 pieces probably coming on a pallet, so we'll have a pallet turn up. Let's say we're doing a transfer job. So then obviously get signed off, we order the transfers, get them the next day, straight to work.
You've had many businesses over the years.
Yeah.
What have you got planned for the future?
Oh, see, this is a tricky one. What I can say is the next stage will be bigger unit. The real end goal, what I leave it with, is I don't want to rent a unit again. I've been there, I've been burned. The only way I see that I will do that is if I build a unit. That's what I want to do. I want to build my own unit.
Final question. What advice would you give anyone looking into getting into this industry?
This wasn't an overnight success. I've been doing this for years already. Prioritise quality, prioritise content, prioritise customer service, put the customer first, saying yes to the opportunities as they come up.
I have no more questions for you, Darren. Thank you.
Thank God I'm frozen. There we go.